An ice show with the participation of Olympic champions Yevgeny Plushchenko, Alexandra Trusova, Mark Kondratyuk and other titled figure skaters takes place in the Pskov Ice Palace. The main star Alexandra Trusova has a new program to Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini by Rachmaninoff. Alexandra's demonstration begins with jumps and a short introduction. And only after the characteristic ballet movements the skater takes a bow in her hand. The first part of the libretto tells how Paganini sells his soul to impure forces in order to gain mastery and virtuosity. Since only part of the instrument is in Trusova's hands at this point, one can see that the transaction has not yet taken place. She tries to play it on herself. After that, she gets the instrument itself. And here begins the second part of the ballet, Paganini's mental anguish. He meets people who love him, but cannot give up his dream. Alexandra raises the instrument above her head and sways in time with it, already determining her future fate. The skater holds the violin like a child. This part of herself is important to her. In the ballet, this part is called The Violin Sings of the Beautiful. It is not Paganini who plays it beautifully, it is the instrument itself that is shown to us in the number. In the finale, Alexandra has the bow itself. A surprisingly beautiful find is the imitation of playing the violin in the cantilever. Here is the climax. Paganini obtains virtuosity thanks to the forces of hell, which finally defeat the master. The final pose, the hands with the instruments are raised up and the head is lowered down. Complete acceptance of the situation in which the hero has driven himself. Despite the fact that the number is only part of a larger piece, you can see that there are dotted similarities to the ballet Paganini. One can jump into impossible theories and assume that the director actually put the libretto into the showpiece. And there are some very subtle parallels with Trusova's athletic fate. Selling her soul and herself in favor of desire, skill, and ending up defeated by impure forces. It is up to the viewer whether to believe in such theories. If everything is as described, then the director is a true genius. World champion in pairs skating Alexei Tikhonov shared his opinion on figure skater Kamila Valieva. I admire what Kamila is doing this season with all the complexity of the time period, a very difficult time she's going through for herself, growing up, etc., etc. I just see how much she works, how much she puts into it all with the help of both her coaches, her parents, her mom, and how much is coming from her. You could say, look, give me a break, please, I can't, I need to get through this moment. No, a person comes every single day in the morning and evening and trains. The beginning of the season is the hardest. I was beating those quadruplets. What did we see at the Grand Prix finals? 2 perfect just quadruple toes. A perfect quadruple toe. At the jumping championships, I jumped 9. And I can't help but admire that, to say the least. I can see how hard it is for her. The list of the participants of Etherii Tutberidze's show champions on ice in St. Petersburg and Moscow became known. The main cast of Etherii Tutberidze, Kamila Valieva, Anna Shkrbakova, Alina Zagatova, Evgenia Medvedeva, Sofia Akateva, Adalia Petrosian, Arseny Fedotov, Evgenia Tarasova, Vladimir Morozov. Invited guests, Victoria Sinitsina, Nikita Kotsalapov, Alexandra Boykova, Dmitry Kozlovsky, Anastasia Mishina, Alexander Galyamov, Tatiana Volososher, Maxim Trenkov, Elizaveta Tuktamisheva, Peter Gumenik, Yevgeny Simonenko. The Executive Committee of the Russian Figure Skating Federation, FFKKR, may in April consider the cases of coaches' abuse of children. World champion and member of the Ethics Commission Alexei Tikhonov said. The agenda of the Executive Committee has not been formed yet. It will be held on April 15th. If it is offered to consider the cases of child abuse, we will. I can't evaluate these episodes myself, Match TV quoted Tikhonov as saying. There have already appeared in the media that the Executive Committee of the FFKKR will consider the cases of child abuse by coaches at the rinks Krustelny and Angela Plushenko. Recall that recently in the network appeared a video in which the coach Mikhail Lebeda from Krustelny, who is the father of 8-year-old figure skater Miroslava Lebedeva, argued with his daughter, after which she fell to the floor. Her father picked her up by the collar of her jacket, accompanying this with stern remarks. Later, a video from 5 years ago was also published, showing coach Yulia Lavrenchuk, who worked at Yevgeny Plushchenko's academy, being rude to her daughter, figure skater Emily Chesterton. The board of the International Skating Union, ISU, will consider allowing Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete in June or October, the organization's press office said. ISU took note of the IOC statement following the March 28, 2023 meeting with recommendations for international federations on the participation of athletes with Russian or Belarusian passports in international competitions. Since the skating season is coming to an end, the ISU Council will discuss the issue at its next meeting either in June or October, RIA Novosti Sport quotes the statement from the ISU press service. Earlier, the IOC Executive Committee recommended that international sports federations allow Russians, who did not support SWO in Ukraine, to enter tournaments under neutral status. In addition, the IOC recommended that athletes affiliated with the military or security forces should not be allowed to compete. Last March, against the background of the events in Ukraine, the ISU Council suspended Russian and Belarusian figure skaters, speed skaters, and short-track skaters from international tournaments. In June, the ISU Congress approved the decision, which will remain in effect until further notice. Diana Davis, daughter of the honored Russian figure skating coach, posted new photos on the social network. She said she was on vacation with her husband and ice dancing partner Gleb Smolkin. A week into summer, she wrote on her social media account, "Graceful and stunning, Disha, you are beautiful, what a beauty. The sea noticed from the 7th time. Pretty miniature. Mom's beauty," her subscribers wrote in the comments. Numerous fans admired the figure of Diana, and also admitted that they really want to see figure skaters in Russia. Russian vice-champions Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin missed the 2022-23 season due to problems with Gleb's documents. But they have already announced their plans to return to the competitive ice next fall. The skaters train and live in the USA,